Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Creations. I'm Amber. So today I'm coming on for a junk journal flip through. This is a hosted challenge video from Dear Julie here on YouTube. And this is our January Just Junk Journal. And we were allowed to use certain items. My cover is out of a gift bag. This here is some wallpaper. And this beautiful bird down here in the corner is a calendar. My journal ended up having 4 signatures. She is a fat beauty. I did not intend for her to be this big. It is absolutely the biggest journal I've ever made, the fattest and the most pages, and I'm actually surprised at how much junk I was able to stuff in here. And we had to make a tassel, so I'm going to show you that first. I used a binding, or my paper clip from my binding kit. I was able to use an old jewelry piece. This is my linen, which was a curtain. The purple little strips here were from a little girl's dress, and so was this tulle with this purple ribbon. Then we had to attach 3 different charms. So I have a button from that same dress, and then I punched out a bunch of hearts and glued them together for the bottom. Then I added another little beautiful bead out of paper with one for my jewelry, and then another bead at the bottom, and let the little embroidery strings hangle from my binding kit that I had left over. And then the main centerpiece here is these beautiful grapes, and then I added the main charm from my necklace, which is a heart. So that is my little charm tassel that will hang on the edge here. So let's get into this big beauty here. That's what I call her, Big Beauty. So inside we're going to have nature, we're going to have purple, we're going to have greens, we're going to have florals. So a ton of fun, and here we go. So this is the first pocket, and I made it out of lace, and I added a little bit of that ribbon. I added a page from my book. I chose a really pretty floral book, and I just imagine the person sitting in this chair with their little sun hat in their garden and journaling away. That was my thought for this. I have this cute little gazebo picture here on the front that I haven't quite finished yet. I wanted to make this just a little card. I added some magazine paper on the edge, and then on the inside it's just packaging, so it was already white. And on the back I added a piece of my book page. So that will go in there. Some of these pages are done, and others still need to be embellished or covered up. But today is the deadline, so I had to finish and film. This is my first page. I was able to use some napkin. We could use as many envelopes as we wanted, so I've been saving. I have a couple of yellow ones, and this one flips out, and there is a cute little card in here that I made as well with my wallpaper. And open that up, and completely out of junk. This was like packaging. It's really thick. The B behind here is a calendar page, and I just thought it was so pretty I wanted to put it in here. And I covered the calendar page with some junk mail. This was my double tuck that I had to do. And this is a little journaling card that I made from book page and magazine and packaging. Then this was actually part of a scrapbook paper pad cover. And I was able to cut that out and make it into a journaling card. So you're going to see lots of different things in here. Give you some ideas for making your own junk. And this one is another calendar page. This is my double belly band. So I was able to pull this out here with my little tab I made. This is actually a Kleenex box tab, and I added a word bloom. We were able to use one or a couple of digital kits, and so I chose a postcard one. I added a little bit of a dryer sheet and a part of my linen on the back side. There's nothing. I just left it blank. So that tucks right here under the word June. And then this big guy in the back is a collage of everything that I had been using that were little bits left over. I actually saved this pretty peach word for a very long time throughout the process. And on the back I just glued roses because there was something back here that I wanted to cover. And then if I pull both of these out, this is a really pretty image in the background. But it has this dead wood here, and I didn't like that. So that's why I put my belly band on this page. So I'll just tuck those back in there. I did have a fun time trying my hand at some avocado dyeing. We were allowed to dye papers with coffee or tea, and I had fun using avocado. So I did, I think, maybe 8 pages was all I was able to get out of that. So there's my crinkly. This is from my book. This is the actual cover. The first page, I ripped it out and I folded it into a pocket. I made a beautiful little journaling card. Then I took apart an old photo album, and I put in here a little booklet. This was part of one of our mini challenges within the challenge. And some of these are hard to get out, so I apologize. There's the cover of it, and it just flips open. It says the word elegant. There's a little piece of note paper here for you to write on that I did avocado dye as well. I was able to use a sticker and some washi. This is a project life card for a flip up. I thought I would put a photo here, maybe journal here. And then on the back side of it, I have a little bit of this same photo paper that says memo, and I love it. It has butterflies on it, so super fun. So just to save some time, I'm just going to tuck that right there. Then in here I have a project life card that I altered from, again, the mini challenge within the challenge. This white paper was part of some junk mail that came. Beautiful calendar page here. I love it. I love it. I love the purples and the yellows. I covered that up with some purple from my son's accounting paper that he had finished. I was like, oh, I need that. This is a map page that I got in the mail. They send you like a new calendar. Well, this one I think might be 2020, but they send you a little calendar from our city. And then I was able to use some notebook paper, so I have Busy Bee here, so much to do. This is a brown paper sack from a fast food restaurant that I covered the back of it with. It was on the back of my first center signature for my calendar. All of my center signatures have the birds with the quotes. I wanted to include those. I didn't want to have it be half a page where you can only read half the quote. So you'll see all 4 signatures have a quote with a bird, and I love it. On the back side of that, this is my double tuck, or my top corner tuck, I think, with 2 inserts. So I flipped that down, and it was just part of my magazine. It says BU, and this is a project life card, a big giant one that I folded in half. And there's a ticket and a magazine page and a butterfly, and this is actually a little tuck spot right here where you can put something else. And then I made a really pretty library card out of my Kleenex box. I just absolutely fell in love with this floral pattern from my Kleenex box. And I made this cute little tag here. It pops right out. Lace from my linen, and my little ruffle here is from a coffee filter. So it was really fun getting creative and seeing everybody else's projects and giving me ideas of things that I could use. I never would have thought to have used a coffee filter, a used coffee filter. This one says shopping, and I made it a flip up so you could have more writing space here with a little honey pot. Love Pooh Bear. And then we flip back to that beautiful page, go back to the white. Another little booklet that I made. This was another mini challenge in the challenge. It says Friends Forever. I used my washi. I was able to pull out my project life card, add a little bit of lace to it, and it just slips right back inside there. And then it flips open, and we have more writing space, again with that Busy Bee. This one I did avocado dye. On the back of here, I have a little butterfly that I just glued down on a piece of my ledger paper that I cut off from here. In my pocket, another digital that I put in there from my postcards. I think I was able to get 4 postcards printed on the digital. The other page, then we have our avocado lined. This is my envelope ensemble. Flips out like this, and it has a freestanding little journal card here with a cute little bee on there. Free and wild, or wild and free. Read that backwards. Wild and free, Mr. B. Then this will slide out, and it'll give you another little spot here for some journaling. And I made a little tiny image down here I cut out. I love purple flowers, so I tried to cut as many purple flowers out of my book as I could and stick them everywhere. And the reason why I put home on the front of this, I love this image, but I'm originally from Montana, and this is a Montana image of the Hungry Horse Reservoir. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. So I decided to put home on there. And then that one is white. This is my fabric pocket. I don't have anything in here. The thing I had created to put in here won't stay. So I got to make something else that will go in there. And then the rest of my bee, the very last page here is from my book, my solid book that I was able to use, like that I tore out from the cover. I have a little ticket that pulls down here for writing on or sticking there. And then this one actually flips up. It's really, really cool. There's the rest of that napkin with some more washi and lots of writing space. And I thought this is the only one in here like this. So I planned on coloring it. I thought it was super cute. So there we go. Then we're going to go ahead and go into the second signature, which is a calendar page backed up by some pink paper, and that was actually a fine from my son's school saying he owed some money for a library book that he didn't return. So interesting enough. And then I used some book page and notebook. This is actually my graph and lined paper. I chose to use the graph side. It is glued down. And then a calendar page here. I left that there so you would believe me that that was a calendar page. No, I'm just kidding. I just didn't cover the back of it. This is one of the only altered envelopes that I have finished in my journal. And I added some lace to the top, some pretty white flowers. This is a paint chip card here. And then the other side is another calendar. And then I have a pull-out journaling card with a cute little bird on there. I think that might be a robin. And on the back side, some journaling space. This definitely got me out of my comfort zone of how I usually craft. As you can see, this ledger paper is going the wrong way, but I wanted more writing space and I wanted there to be bigger pages instead of these skinny ones. So this one here I had fun with. This is a flip out. It is a calendar page that I cover with some junk mail. The blue paper here is also from my son's homework. I was scrounging around last night, so I needed another colorful page because I don't have enough. I got a lot of white, and he was able to pull out this blue page for me. And then I used my gift bag to make a pocket down here to hold my matchbook style. And this little scallop here will open up, and it flips up to a writing space. And I do have a top tuck here as well that I'll be able to put something in. So just a lot of creativity went into this. This was for the whole month of January. So it took a long time to make some of these elements. Some lined paper, magazine paper. This was my freebie print test, but I didn't actually print test. I did fix my computer. It was not printing correctly. So I did that and added that page here as well. This is one of the pages that I made, and then I added a book paper in the background, a project life card that I covered with that gift bag. I pretty much used the whole gift bag up. I'm pretty proud of myself. Some homework from my little guy. I haven't covered that side yet, but we'll get to it eventually. Here is the center signature for number 2 with our pretty blue birds. And I used purple binding string. Of course, I used purple. And I used almost all of this too. There's just a little bit left. I'll have enough to make maybe a couple more tags and it'll be gone. Some white. Here I just covered up my son's homework with a really pretty avocado dyed paper from my book. And it says scene 2. It tells you the characters. And the reason why I glued this one on here, it says 'twas love that stayed our feet. And I just planned on covering up this scene 2 and then just leaving that. So just getting it started. Then my son's homework. This is a little pocket. I didn't find anything to tuck in there. I ran out of things to create. So I still have to make a few more things to put in here. And my test print page. Magazine paper. This is a napkin. I had leftover napkin from one of the challenges, so I decided to glue stick that down on my son's hot lunch menu. And then this is the other side of that flip out. I had a flip out, and this is the other side of that with the trees. My ledger paper, an envelope. I don't have anything in there yet, and I'll probably do this one like a top tuck pull out just to make it a little different than the other signature. Then this one is an owl. And the end of our second signature. So now we are halfway through our book. Goodness gracious, we have more to go. So our third signature here is a paper we were allowed to use from our stash. I love it. This one I started covering. I actually intended this to be a pocket, but I got carried away and I glued the whole thing down. So I'll continue to cover that with something. This is my son's schedule for the week of something in January. And a calendar page. Some more of that book paper, not book paper, paper bag from the restaurant. And this one here, we were allowed to use a card, and I glued a calendar, I have a ticket, I've got an actual postcard or postage stamp, a thing here punched out of my packaging, and a digital butterfly that I cut out, and this flips open like that. And it is a Valentine's Day card that I will cover up eventually. My ledger paper, I have a project life card in here as well that I was able to use and alter. So that was a lot of fun. This is backed up by some magazine paper in the background. I just love the pinks, and I actually like that pattern in the background. So I'll probably decorate here, maybe not. Maybe I will journal here because there's not a whole lot of space to journal besides a whole back side. This, again, is cut off from a calendar page. I love the purples. And on this one, I just wanted to cover this because right here it says this page was intended to be blank. And I didn't want it to say that because nothing is intended to be blank in a junk journal. This bird here is covered. I used an extra bird. I wanted some of the yellow. This is from the cover. The same bird is on the cover of my journal, but I added him there. And then my ledger paper, I glued another notebook page down on my son's homework. Okay, this was challenging. This was the first time I've ever made a flip-flop. And when I turn the page, you're going to see some pink, or not pink, yellow papers flip with it. So here we go. There. That's called a flip-flop. Julie designed that. Super fun. I added a pocket and on my old bank check here, decorated that up. And this is allowing me to have all this journaling space there. It says, indulge yourself for my magazine. I just thought that was super cool. And then I turned my eagle into a little tuck spot here. And I added these beautiful yellow flowers in the background. And I purposely chose this dark golden color for my center signature to balance that eagle out. I just thought it was super, super pretty. So the center of this signature, again, I made it a pocket page. And this is my son's lunch menu. And I added a recipe card in here. This was from a challenge within the challenge. So it adds a lot more writing space. Tuck that baby back in there. And then we have my other photo album. So there's 2 photo albums in the first and the third. And then the second and the fourth signature have the envelopes. So just a little bit of something different. This was a wallet style thing that Julie created that we had to make using different embellishments. So we had to decorate it up. This has a little journal writing space on here that I can pull out. I haven't done the back yet. Like I said, I kind of ran out of time for some of my things for putting the actual papers on where you could write on. But here's another one on the side here, belly band. This one flips open. This was a little note from my son's bus driver. It just says the bus route. But I wanted it to be pink, so super fun. And then I have a tag in here, again, from that Kleenex box. And I just need to add some paper to the back of that. And then there's a little label. This is coffee filter. This is avocado dye coffee filter. My wallpaper. And then on the back, I did a little bit of collaging. A pro tip for your rose pinwheel. So a lot of fun to be had with this, absolutely. And then on the back side of here was another postcard that I just tucked in there. 3 Seasons of Bloom was the book that I chose for all of my flowers, or book pages that I used besides. The other one was an acting book. And then a calendar page. And then we have a collage page here that I did. I used some napkin. I used another piece of that memo. And then I used my book paper. I have the cream and then the piece of the avocado dyed. And then I have some of the images from my book. We have some ledger paper. The other half of that bird. So since you can't see this here, I'll probably add like a corner tuck here and then be able to pull something out. But I haven't done it yet. And then this is a waterfall that we had to make. I used my book papers on my ledger paper. So these flip up. And again, I've never made these. This is a little note card that I made out of my gift bag. And I added some pink little corner pieces there just to add a little bit of interest. My little birds, super pretty. And then all of these are florals and I just flip up. This is from my book. And I made a cute little tag out of it. It says Act 2, Scene 2 of my avocado dyed. I just love that coloring, so I decided to stick that on the bottom. This little pull tab here is with, oh my gosh, wallpaper. Yes, that's what it is. And I heart punched out page 150. These crazy little birds down here. Oh my gosh, they are so funny looking. But yeah, there we go. And then this was the full image there that I decided to use for the inside. And then I can still add stuff here to write on. I just ran out of this pink paper. He only had a couple of those, so I need to add something there to be able to write on. I wanted these sunflowers to be the right way. And then here I need to add something to write on as well. On the side of this, the back of mine, I have another wallpaper image. And then I used a, like a tab. I just traced one of the packaging things that I had and glued that on there to be able to pull that out. That took a long time to make as well. I have another little pocket here that's empty, backed by some magazine paper. And then this one is a postcard that I glued down onto an index card. And some birds with a ticket, a little heart punch. This is a digital stamp right here. And this was one of the last things that I made for my journal. I was saving this. I wanted to use it as a little notebook. So I took all, I backed, this is magazine, and then I glued down a calendar page to the magazine. So it's really glossy, it's really slippery, but I was able to have 5 pages pretty much blank from my book. This was my book here that I chose, the Misanthrope, and so there's just a couple of little bits in here that I'll be able to write on, and I can cover it up if I want to. But yeah, that's my little notebook that I made for this baby. And this is my fabric flip, and I added my measuring tape. This was off of some scrapbooking packaging, and then these little buttons were from my magazine. I chose a craft magazine. And then this is a digital bird here that I glued down to my fabric flip, so you can write something there if you'd like. And pull that down. It does feel nice. This is actually my dress. This is my little girl's dress. Not like my little girl's dress, but the one that I bought for this challenge that I told you that I cheated with my other thing. And here we go. This is magazine, or I'm sorry, calendar page. Then scrap paper. I did another collage here. I added a whole strip here to be able to journal on, and then I'll be able to journal down here as well. This is napkin. Just a bunch of little bits and pieces glued down there just for adding some interest. And then the very last page of my third signature says a quote from the book. It says, "In all things, let the will of heaven be done." And I just happened to find that, and I was like, nope, that's going there. I'm going to put that there. So I had all 3 signatures in here, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I looked at my book, and I still had room for 4. So I scrambled last night, and I made another signature. This is a big, thick calendar page that I had been saving in my stash for a very long time. And it was the month of September, which is special because that's my birthday month. And then I have this beautiful Project Life card in here, and I have a little brad here that I was able to put on for the center of my music paper flower. And my beautiful bird, I was saving this until the very end, and I'm so glad I did because I love this bird. I love the purple flowers, and I love the bird. And yep, I saved it to the end. I used some lined paper here from my son's homework that he doodled on the back of it to turn in, and got a grade and brought it home to me, so I was able to use that. This is packaging. You can see my glue here. This is packaging glued on top of a Walmart receipt for something that I had bought for Christmas, and then I used some of my packaging from my scrapbooking paper, and then the Flowers of Summer is cut out from my book. This is the end page of my book that I chose. Made it a flip-up pocket as well. Here's another thing we had to create for the challenge. This is called a dad's envelope, and we had to have 3 inserts. So I have a sweet little butterfly here, and I added some ledger paper on the back of that. And then I have a little pull-out card here. That same bird is right here. So I'll probably end up moving him because that bird is like right there. I'll probably end up moving this dad's bank envelope, but for now, this is where I tucked it in. And then I have a gigantic tag in the center of it with book page. And I did coffee filter. This was the avocado dyed. I tried to make it look kind of like a rosette corner. And then I added 3 little butterflies from that packaging. So you'll see the same type of things throughout this whole book, which I found really cool, that it all ties together. All the embellishments, all the pages, and everything just flows and works wonderfully together. I was a little hesitant to add the blue in here, but, you know, I wanted a little bit brighter of a feel to some of the pages, so I added that. And then I have a country scene here as well, some white paper. That was my son's schedule. The other envelope that I haven't decorated yet, I added a page from my book. I loved these purple flowers with these pink ones, so I decided to add that. And then I liked, this is like the walkway that they're trying to show you, like if you plant them, and they tell you what they are and kind of all that. So this one here is my son's homework, and I stuck it down on my table, and it wasn't dry. And this is actually my table, parts of my table. Yeah, whoops. And my last center signature here is "Those who wish to sing always find a song" by a Swedish proverb. I just love it. I just love yellows and purples together with the green. It's just such a lovely thing. I used the rest of my map that I was sent to in the mail to cover up the rest of the ripped table, and my son's homework is on the other side of that. The other side of that pretty book page, my envelope, his homework or his weekly news from January 18th. And then here, this one is from Missoula, Montana. This was a calendar that I had free from my bank many, many, many years ago that I've been saving before I even knew what junk journaling was, so that was pretty neat. White paper here is the rest of that Walmart receipt. And this is a really fun little thing here. This is a 6x6 paper that I folded almost in half, but I cut it down to be 5 inches. I have a sweet little tag right here that is the rest of this Project Life card, and I didn't want to throw it away, so I'm happy I didn't. I used my sticker there. Celebrate life every day. I have a U from an index card that I was saving, and I just cut off my notebook paper, and this says shopping, but I will cover this up. We don't need to read about baby cereal and all that. So yeah, I glued that on that page. Then I have my little pocket here. I stuck in a digital from my digital that I was able to use. This is a ticket with some lavender. And then I made a B one that I'll be able to write onto. And there we go. Another really fun collage page. So since this was the end, this was the last of my scraps. Smaller scraps anyways, besides this big book page. I wanted to use it because it was avocado dyed, and yep, I just glued it on there. So little bits and pieces from the actual book, and white. Then this was another map page, and I didn't realize that you can see the map in the background because I glued it down on this page right here. So I didn't want another map page next to it. So then I cut out this page from my craft magazine, which was showcasing some Bo Bunny paper, and I thought that would be really cool to add the blues and the yellows. And then I cut out a pansy and tried to make it fit in the oval by hand. And then I glued on my digital word believe and my little ticket. And that is on the back of that bird. So super pretty purple. My ledger paper that has a pocket that's empty. And then my calendar page at the very, very end. And the last quote of my book says, "Many waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot wash it away." It's from the Song of Solomon. Or Song of Songs. Sorry. Song of Songs on that one. I think it goes to this side. But this was my January junk journal, Song of Songs. Yep, 8/7. And I hope you guys are super inspired to go for your junk and see what you can make. I was really surprised at how pretty this came out, how creative I had to be. And it was just such a fun process. So thank you so much for all checking it out. And again, thanks to Julie for hosting it and helping January be a lot more fun. Bye, guys. We'll talk to you real soon.